Knockout of the year. He knocked that boy. They used smelling salts to get that boy up. It was bad. Jamal, on the other hand, was following that path up until this man tastes defeat for the first time in his life. He gets knocked the fuck out, which is no problem. Like, you got knocked out by a guy that knocks everybody out. He's knocked the guy that you're fighting out twice. But instead of taking it like a man, he blames the ref. He blames Alex. He claims cheating. He claims it's fixed. He doubles down on it. This man goes and brings a camera crew into a gym where the guy doesn't speak any fucking English. All right? And you go in there and you're at, I want to fight. I want to fight.
And welcome, episode 2 Under the Canvas. Ken here with my co-host Nick, bringing you all the MMA info from Under the Canvas. So we're gonna get this started. So what's up, Nick?
Not much, brother. Not much. How are you?
Good, man. You know, just getting ready to exciting card this weekend. Super excited for it. But before we get into that, I just want to celebrate my Bird gang up here, my Eagles. Big Super Bowl coming.
Jalen got to play better.
I know, bro.
Saquon is the whole team.
I know. But as bad as he played, though, we at least got a 12-point win there. It could have been 19.
Yeah.
Could have been 19, but
I was pissed
I'm a little nervous about the Rams.
You don't slide. You should have slid at the end. That was open grass. Grass.
Yeah. It should be good, though. This next game with the Rams should be good. It's going to be a shootout. I think we're going to advance. I just hope Washington beats the Lions. That way it can
Washington.
Be the blue collar NFC championship.
I'm with Washington, bro. I like that Jaden Daniels kid.
Yeah. Whoop them Bucks ass, for real. All right, man. So let's get started. We had a card last weekend. There's really three fighters that we want to highlight on that card. First, let's talk about Puna.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, dude.
Crazy.
New
right?
weight class plus 235 dog and 6 months of work in 11 seconds. 32 seconds,
Jesus.
my fault. 32 seconds. Yeah.
You saw that clip of him that after the fight, he was at a bar and he was pointing to some dude right next to him. He was like, that was me on the screen.
Dude, he was clowning the whole time at the fight. He said that wasn't even his fastest finish of the week, he said.
No, but all jokes aside, though, I think he definitely looks better at that.
Oh my gosh, it looks natural. He was in the best physical shape I've ever seen him in.
Yeah, complete 180. It was insane. He just looked fat, like you said. He looked faster. He looked strong for that weight. I think the issue with him before was he was still strong, but if he was getting clipped, he was just like, I don't know if it was the weight cut or it was just like too much to get down to the weight that he was at before. But he definitely looked a lot stronger. Like,
Shout out Coach Eric, my guy.
Dude came out of a cannon, bro. It was insane.
Yes.
But other than that, moving on, let's talk about Chris Curtis, man. It's a tough fight for him. What do you think about that?
Kopylov is the extreme couture killer. He beat Puna too.
He beat Puna before.
Yeah. I mean, it was a really good fight. From literally in one fight of the night. So that was $50K for both of them. But from start to finish, it was war. I mean, Curtis is the problem with Chris Curtis, man. He's a great fighter. He spars a lot. You can see it. His boxing skills are there. The problem is he doesn't bring much else. I think Kopylov was able to bring those kicks in. And then by the round 3, I feel like he was so broken down that it was tough. It's like, all right, I got to block this. I got to block that. Everything was hurting because Kopylov was going to the body, to the legs, to the head. So it didn't matter where Chris Curtis was only going to the head. So, I feel like at the end he broke him. I don't agree with the finish. 1 second left and he's on a knee. Just let it go. That's not a way you want to lose. Like, he's never even touched the canvas before. So that's not a way you want to go. So I definitely don't agree with that because the argument there is like at that point you don't know what the judges' scorecards are. Let's say a judge had it 2 rounds to none and you call it a finish, that would have been tough to swallow. So, but yeah,
who was that ref?
Mark Smith.
I did you see that clip of Eric saying that if he sees Mark Smith,
Hmm.
it's basically he's fighting two people?
I love you, Eric, but and you know you're my guy, but I won't lie for you. I can't. That I mean, Mark, it was a bad call, but I
He is a solid
he's a
ref.
solid ref. He's a
Yeah.
solid ref, and your man was down 2 rounds. On my end, I thought it was 19-19 going into that third round, and I thought from
Hmm.
all the way that third round, Kopylov controlled the entire round. So I think even if let's say Chris Curtis doesn't get knocked out, it's a clear, and by the judges' scorecards that were released afterwards, it's clear that Kopylov would have won regardless. So
Right. Yeah, I think like you said before, it was just to call it a TKO, 1 second left. You're basically taking
yeah,
you're now Chris Curtis can't fight for whatever long the commission says he can't fight.
yep,
Because once you get knocked out, you're basically sidelined
yeah,
for an extended period of time.
yeah,
You should have just let the judges. I knew it was probably going to be unanimous, but still, you should have just let the judges
correct,
decide that one,
correct.
which is crazy because we never say that. We always want the judges to stop it if it looks because technically if it was gone another 10 seconds, it would have been a knockout for sure. But
Oh yeah. He
he was
he had, oh
wobbly,
he had him in
stumbling.
bad he had him in a bad place for sure. So
Mhm. But I do see where he's coming from. When he could have finished, he could have just jumped on him. But like I said, it's too much time, too little time left. So I agree with you. I think we can't agree with Eric all the time.
yeah,
Um, all right, so moving on here. Next fight, the fight of the night or the event of the night. The two girls in the main event. What did you think with Mackenzie Dern and the
Mackenzie
rebounds?
surprised me. I thought Amanda had it going in. I just thought Mackenzie just couldn't stand up with her, but it went when it got down to the ground. She did what she does best. She got the, and I didn't think she was gonna even. I thought even if it went down there, Amanda is competent enough where it wouldn't have been a problem. But she dominated on the ground from the get go, from the first round to the second, getting the armbar finish. That's a big win for her. A quality opponent. She's a fan favorite already. It's huge for her. It's huge, and I'm happy for
Yeah.
her. And it was fun to look at her in those scrambles too. My gosh. But yeah.
That doesn't hurt. No, but yeah, coming off that pregnancy, just being able to make the weight was impressive for her.
yeah.
Where do you think she looks up now? So top five division. You think she has a chance? Maybe she's two
I feel
wins
like,
away from a
yeah.
title
I mean,
shot.
like that. Does it? They have Tati, and we have to see how things play out with Tati. It's tough. She might even, I hate to say it, might even try to go for one fight and then maybe a trilogy fight, depending on what Rebus does, because that division is like in a weird place right now. There's not really an opening
Yeah.
for her because Tati and Jing have to fight, and then in my opinion, Yan Jonan is next off that performance with Baby Shark. She looked incredible.
Yeah, she did.
So you imagine that fight 6 months from there, a year, another fight. That division's wrapped up right now. So, I mean, I think she's gonna need 1 to 2 more big wins. So maybe the trilogy fight, maybe one more person in between. Maybe she fights Yan Xiaonan. Maybe that's she already has. She had fought her to get that rematch. She dropped that one. So who knows?
Hmm.
But she looked good. She looked better.
Yeah, it's just crazy to me that how much better she is on the ground and with her hit compared to her hands and her
Oh,
striking.
it's a
Like I don't think
different
there's
world.
anyone else in the UFC that has like that discrepancy, like that has literally like below or subpar striking,
Hmm.
but her ground she just uses her
She's
ground
like
game
a
every
to me.
single
She's just
time.
like a lesser version of Tati. That's it. Tati's the same
Yeah.
way. Tati has like the striking's like but once you go down there, good luck. It's like you're in trouble.
Hmm.
It's a problem, which is
Yeah.
interesting for when you think. Like I said, it creates a lot of matchup problems for a lot of people. So
Yeah. Well, big things for Mackenzie. You know, she had a
yeah,
couple fights there where it looked rough for her. She looked like she didn't
yeah.
belong, but it looks like she's
I
climbing the
want to
ladder.
shout out Cesar Almeida.
Oh yes,
Oh my
yes.
gosh, dude! Knockout of the year in January. Knockout of the
Jesus.
year, and he knocked that boy.
Wow.
They use smelling salts to get that boy up. That it was bad. That was bad.
That was insane. That was
My boy
insane.
Casey, I know you're gonna be watching this. He was like, "Oh, that dude got power." And I was like, man, I, I was like, it don't matter. Like Connor said, like precision beats power all day.
every time.
It don't matter. Look at Max and Justin, like when they're in the middle. You can throw as hard as you want, but if you're throwing that hard and you're wide open and you get caught, oh my gosh, that boy went to. It wasn't even that hard. He just went to sleep. Huge win for Almeida. Huge win for
Yeah, he was
Almeida.
trending down a little bit, but now he with that win, that was
He's on a
insane.
little 3-fight win streak now. He has the whole. He has a win over Alex Pereira technically, so yeah, like he has that for him. So he's on a shout out to him, and he's a team Extreme Couture guy. Shout out him. Love it, love it, love it, love it.
Man, Eric was working that night.
Eric got a whole. I'm telling you that gym got a whole thing, man. Whole stable of fighters.
Mhm. Yeah. So overall, what would you rate that card out of 10?
I give it a
Actually,
nine
actually,
out of. I give it a 9 out of 10. Ken. First
yeah,
card of the year. Usually everyone's like, "Oh, the card before pay-per-view is a throwaway." And if you looked at the names on the card, you're like, "That's exactly what this is."
it did seem like
It
that.
was a
Yeah,
throwaway. Let me tell you, it was anything but a throwaway. There was finishes after finishes after finishes. Like they came out with a bang the whole time. So I give it a 9 out of 10 because it exceeded my expectations from the get. And this is where I tell fans like watch fight nights, man. Don't like watch fight nights. These guys in order to get to those pay-per-view cards you guys love, they got
you
to
have
do
to go
something
through.
impressive on a fight night first. That's where you make all the money. And that was a hell of a card. Even Dana tweeted right afterwards what he was so happy. He's like, "Man, what a card to start the year." That was good.
Mhm. It's only a matter of time before he gets those fight nights out of the Apex. I think that's really what's holding him back. If he can
Yeah.
get those fight nights, like not so much in Vegas, but kind of move him around a little bit. He is moving him around usually, but move him around kind of like the pay-per-views, maybe internationally a little bit more. I think then you'll get more eyes on that, especially in the Northeast. We don't really get too many fight nights up here, except
No.
maybe the Atlantic
Atlantic
City
City,
card.
yeah.
That's pretty much it. So
That card with a live crowd would have been crazy. Imagine that
yeah,
Almeida knockout in front of a packed house.
watching him stumble.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
yeah. All right, but we'll preface this actually before jumping into the main card of 311. So when we talk about rating a card out of 10, what are you looking for in a card?
So
Are you looking for matchups? Are you looking for stakes?
matchup
Are,
quality for me is huge. I finishes are a big part, but let me tell you, I'm not the guy that's like, oh, I need a finish or it's a bust. Like if I get a good quality fight, you know what I'm saying? Like good grab. If you're gonna grapple, let me see solid grappling. If it's gonna be striking, let me see a war. You know what I'm saying? Like bang out. And sometimes that won't result in a finish, like in Curtis and Kopylov, like that type of fight. Who wouldn't pay to see that? Like that's amazing. So for me, I'm looking at matchup quality. Um, I'm looking just like I said, match quality itself, like stylistic matchups for me. Finishes do matter. They do matter. Um, like I said, and like importance. So for me, like a fight has to carry some type of level of importance, whether it be a prospect, trying to work his way up, whether it be two people trying to fight for number one contender, or somebody, I'm saying, someone trying to make that jump up in rankings. Like for me, like I love seeing a person like someone a number eight go against the number five to take his five. You know what I'm saying, to go up. Like for me, stuff like that matters. So that's the stuff I look for. Like and for me the prelims matter too, because that's where the eyeballs and stuff, you're not going to get anybody that cares about the main card if the prelims suck. So
yeah.
mhm.
No, yeah, I agree with you too. I think for me, it's consequence.
Yep.
Like, does every fight have a consequence?
Yeah.
And what I'm not talking about finishing, I'm not talking about like damage. I'm talking about where the fighters are and where they're trying to get. So if we have like this upcoming card, I feel like every fight in there has a consequence. And we can talk about like the main event, the Marab fight, the Umar fight,
Yep.
the Islam fight, the Yuri fight. Everything has a storyline, and then each fighter has something to lose. And in that fight, and I think that's what creates the storylines, and that's how you can rank a card out of 10. In terms of finishes, I mean, obviously, we all want to see finishes.
Yeah.
If you're trying to, and you know how it works, when you try to get somebody that doesn't like UFC into
Yeah.
watching UFC,
You
and then
want
you
the
make them watch
finish.
a
Yeah.
card There's never any finishes.
Yep.
And there's the card that no one is watching, random UFC night in fucking St. Louis. All of them are finishes.
It's true.
So
It's true.
we can't always go based off finishes, but I think that's basically how we rank these cards. And
Things
that was a thumbs down. What the hell was that?
I don't even know how I did that, bro. I'm trying to do it again. That was so weird.
I said Umar. No, I said Merab. And
You said Marab, and it just naturally did it.
All right, but let's pivot over here to 311. Obviously, this is what we're all gonna be waiting for and excited for this coming Saturday here. Let's move on over here. View card. So we're not gonna really talk about the prelims unless you want to.
No, we could get the main card. We could. But listen, we gotta talk about that guy right there.
Yeah,
Ken's
even
pick,
this
guys.
guy over here, Almeida.
Ken's pick for guy to watch of the year. So we gotta watch him. It's a big fight for him because it's a vet. So it's his first vet, minus 1100. So
that's what I was just gonna ask.
Nickel.
Are you betting? Are you betting the house on Barcelos?
I'll bet my leg on it. Like if I were to lose my leg. But let me tell you, the finish is. I'm looking for a finish here, Ken. Bo Nickel, I hope you're watching because this is what happens when you get a pay-per-view slot and you're a prospect on the rise. Watch what Peyton Talbot does because I already know that he ain't gonna give me a boring fight. I already know it won't happen. So I want you to watch because this kid's he's been wanting it. He's been begging for it. So I'm excited. I'm excited.
Yeah, I think this is the second highest odds ever, and the first one was Bo Nickel at minus 1200. So this is insane.
Yeah,
but I think it's like if you bet $10, like you might lose $10 on paying Talbot. It's that crazy. Like,
it's right there. If you bet $100, you get $11. So
insane. So it's okay. Just put a quick $10 on Barcelos. You might win.
Peyton Talbot KO. That's what you need to take, ladies and gentlemen. That's it.
Yeah. Like you said, looking for a big finish there, something spectacular. Start to ascend. Like we talked about in the previous episode, I think he's going to have a big year. He's going to be a breakout fighter of the year. So
yes,
he has to start off January right, big finish, and then be able to fight 2 or 3 more times to kind of ascend into that top 5, top 7-ish.
Guys, don't be fooled by that slot he's in either. That slot is a very important
This is the slot.
This is the slot where you get put because it's the last fight you see before you decide, should I buy the main card or should I not? There's a reason he's in that slot. Get ready. That's all.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Some people say this slot is actually more important than the first main event.
Yeah, there will be people on the fence about paying for that pay-per-view, and it will come down to whether that Peyton Talbot or Barcelos fight is going to be the last thing they remember. So that's how it goes.
Only thing I'm worried about is he cut the hair.
And they're on ESPN, by the way, so there's a lot more eyeballs. If you see right there, they're going to be on national television. So it's not like just ESPN Plus. So they're going to have more eyeballs too.
Yeah. But like I said, the only thing I'm worried about, he cut the hair. The aura went down like 20%, but he still has that dot on his chest. So I think he's good.
As long as he got that dot, he's straight, bro.
All right, moving up. Now this fight's an interesting one.
I don't get the odds here. I think they're messed up. I honestly don't see it. I don't see it. Yeah. They have this dude as the favorite. I think Kevin Holland should be like a minus 300, to be honest. Renier struggled in his last. I mean, he struggled in the last fight. I mean, he got the knockout against Mearshart, but it's just like Mearshart landed some stuff on him. He got the sub in round 3. Let me tell you. I mean, Kevin Holland, he's active. He has hands, and people forget that he also has a ground game. Like he has a solid ground game. He darts choked Michael Chiesa 2 fights ago. He is like I just don't see it. A guy that fights as much as this guy does, as active as he is. Look how many fights this guy has. Look at those are all 2024, 2024, 2024. Like he fights 3 times.
He has 12 fights since 2022.
3 times a year. Look at that. He fights 3 times a year. And look at who he's fighting. Santiago. Let's start from Santiago right there. Go up a little bit. He's Santiago, right? And then he goes to Chiesa. So KO against Santiago, sub against Chiesa. He fought Jack Della Maddalena, who right now is a title contender to a split. fought fought
Straight to
MVP,
MVP.
straight to Olajaychuk, subbed again, and then into Dolidze. You know what I'm saying?
He
It's
cracked
just
the
like,
rib.
yep,
Yeah.
he cracked his rib. So it's just like, bro, like if I were Renier, he's very slow on his feet, an amazing ground game for him. But this isn't Japan, bro. I think he's coming in against a UFC vet right here in a big spot. I just don't see it. I don't see it. I got
Yeah.
Kevin Holland here.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. It's tough though because typically you don't see people Dutch fighters come in with such a strong wrestling game.
Yeah.
They're typically usually like kickboxers or strikers, but
Mm-hmm.
I think it just really depends on Kevin Holland's mindset. Like, is he coming in serious? Is he coming in to actually fight and win, or is he coming in just to collect a paycheck?
Yeah.
I mean, he's fought I think it's 12 times since 2021, which is insane.
Yeah.
That's basically three and a half, three almost four fights a year
Yeah.
since 2021. So I like I said, my issue with Kevin Holland is I don't know what he's fighting for.
Yeah.
He continues to bounce from middleweight to welterweight. He doesn't really stick in a division. He's kind of bouncing back and forth. Or he's just a journeyman. I think
Kevin Holland's never
I
gonna
don't
fight
know.
for a belt. He
Yeah.
said it. He said it. He fights for money, which I don't
Yeah.
agree with, but it's fine. And I accept it now. But it's just like he's good. He's good in both areas of the game. So as long as he comes in
Mhm.
there and he's serious, like I just don't see a path to victory for Renier.
Yeah. Yeah. If he comes in serious, I'm seeing TKO late second round.
Yeah,
I
I think
think
he gets knocked the fuck out.
yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
I think RDR is gonna try to pressure him with the wrestling at first.
Hmm.
He's gonna try to come in a little hot early rounds, and then Kevin Holland's gonna kind of pick it up a little bit, hit his distance. I see maybe like a hit him with the left.
Yep.
That's what he's known for, and then just KO second
Yeah.
round, late second round there.
Yep.
All right, so moving on, another interesting fight on here. We got Beneil Dariush versus Renato Moicano. Money Moicano.
Let me see these odds. Let me see these odds. Scroll down a little bit. What we got for odds? One.
Plus 45 for Beneil Dariush, and then minus 175.
I think Moicano's getting a little bit of recency bias here.
Yeah,
Um, if you
I
look
was
at
just gonna say the same thing.
if you look at his last couple fights, he's got. Let me tell you, luck has been on this man's side.
Especially with that Turner fight.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that Thunder fight, he should have been KO'd. Dariush, Dariush has a solid ground game. I think there's not gonna be one of those guys where he could catch slipping. I know he's coming off getting knocked out by Arman, who's fighting for the belt. He got caught fair, and then I think he lost to Charles, right? Yeah, he lost to
Yeah,
Charles. So that's the one scary part is that he's coming off back to back knockouts,
two
two
knockouts. Yeah,
knockouts. But with that being said, Moicano isn't really known for his hands. You know what I'm saying? Moicano's known for getting you on the ground and busting you up from mount, from clinch. Like, so as long as Darius can keep this up on the feet, click on the grappling there where it says you see up where it says matchup stats win by significant grappling. Click on grappling right there if you don't mind on the right. Yeah, I think as long you see that takedown defense is at 80. As long as he could keep that on the feet, I think he'll be fine. I think in the stand-up fight, Moicano just doesn't have the hands. I think there's a little recency bias. Not to say Moicano isn't good. I think Moicano could win this fight. I see it easy. I definitely can visualize a way he can win, especially with Dariush. It's like, well, do you have that motivation anymore? You're older, coming off back-to-back KOs. Like, what's your do we see just a defeated version? But I think if it stays on the feet, he has the better hands. He's fought the better comp. Um, so it's just I think I would go with the underdog pick here.
yeah. I don't know. It's a tough one for me because I agree with you with the recency bias. I think Beneil Dariush's peak is a lot higher than Moicano's is. Whether I think Dariush is past that peak, I think that's also the case.
Mm-hmm.
Coming back from two KOs, that vicious knee, basically it was like a knee, then straight punch from Arman, and
Yeah,
then that KO by
Charles.
Oliveira. It's tough to come back from those. I don't know what his motivations are anymore.
Mm-hmm.
He is a great wrestler. You just mentioned that takedown defense. So as long as he can kind of keep Moicano at a distance without him shooting, I think Beneil he can hit him because his jab. Beneil, one thing he does is he keeps him well at distance. He's good at managing distance
Yeah,
and that takedown defense, either with that jab and I wouldn't sleep on Beneil's hands.
yeah. I also
But
think it's a must-win fight though for Beneil, where I feel like
yeah,
Moicano, it's not. Like Moicano's has his streak, so if he takes an L in between, fine. But like for
yeah,
Beneil, he needs to win. Like he has to win this one.
yeah, it's borderline retirement here for
Yeah,
Dariush, I think. But that being said, I think Moicano is just on a roll right now. He's kind of riding that momentum. We see it in the post-fight interviews, the energy that he has.
yeah.
It's hard for me to see. I think it's going to be a TKO third round. It's just,
Okay,
I just have a feeling
okay.
he's going to get clipped in the chin, and I don't think it's going to take much because we know Moicano doesn't have the strongest hands,
Yeah,
doesn't have the strongest hits. But I just think Beneil's starting to kind of tip over that edge where he's turning 10 or he's trending towards being kind of, I don't want to say washed, but he's getting up there in age, and
yeah,
we're starting to kind of see that.
yeah,
Man, it's crazy we're talking about him like this, but he's only 22-6,
yeah,
and we're saying he's kind of washed, which is
yeah.
insane.
It
But
is.
it's a tough fight. It's going to be a good fight, but I'm picking Moicano on that one, just like you. All right, moving on.
Fuck you, Jamal Hill. Fuck you. Fuck
So
you.
before you give me
Fuck
your
you.
analysis, and we got it's basically even here. It's minus 122 for Jamal Hill. I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Why do you think people like Yuri so much as compared to Jamal?
I mean, it's night and day in terms of personality and just being a man. Yuri, it's true. Yuri lives by the code of the samurai. This man has done nothing since he's come in the company and done it with honor. When he won the belt and he tore his shoulder up in sparring and training, he didn't hold up the division. He didn't say wait for me to come back. He didn't say do an interim. He said no. Like I give this
To
up.
be fair, not to cut you off, but to be
Yeah,
fair, Jamal did the same thing when he tore his ACL. I mean his Achilles.
he did, but we're getting there. He did. So Yuri, like I said, whenever Yuri loses, you never have heard the man make an excuse. When Alex, you can argue. A lot of people argued that first fight against Alex, there was something off. It got called early. He wasn't even out. A lot of like that, they just jumped in way too early. He was the first one to say, just because of the honor code that he lives by. No, guys, I lost tonight. I got caught. The ref made a decision. I agree with it. You know, and then like I said, he just like I said, he's a good guy. He's a crowd favorite. He only cares about fighting. He's a good human being. Jamal, on the other hand, was following that path up until this man tastes defeat for the first time in his life. He gets knocked the fuck out, which is no problem. Like you got knocked out by a guy that knocks everybody out. He's knocked the guy that you're fighting out twice. 5 losses, 2 of them are by him. But instead of taking it like a man, he blames the ref. He blames Alex. He claims cheating. He claims it's fixed. And not only does he do it, he doubles down on it. And then after he doubles down on it, this man goes and brings a camera crew into a gym where the guy doesn't speak any fucking English. All right? And you go in there and you're at I want to fight. I want to fight. What does my man do? My man takes a pair of gloves and throws them at you and says, "Let's go." They asked Yuri 3 days ago. They said, "Yuri, what would you have done if Alex throws a pair of gloves at you?" Yuri goes, "Well, I'm gonna fight him." And that's Jamal. Let me tell you, that's what you should have done. But no, you are a punk ass bitch. The whole that he got clowned by all of his peers. It's not just me. Look at the everybody in the UFC commentator was like, "Yo, what was that?" Like you brought a camera crew, and you weren't about. Alex was about it. You weren't about it. So for me, it's like I think Jamal Hill is so clouded in his idea of Alex that he's overlooking the man that's in front of him here. This man here, not only can he take fucking punishment, he deals it out. So like he against I'll never forget. I think who the hell was it against? It was before Alex. Oh my gosh, what's that guy's name? He's a really good heavyweight too. Oh my gosh.
Glover?
No, 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 no. Rockage.
Rockage? That was
Rockage
crazy.
tore
He
his
was
leg up.
taking everything from
Yuri
him.
was
Yeah.
fighting on one leg. Knocked that boy out. If his name's not Alex Pereira, Prochazka's gone in there and taken care of business. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I think Jamal Hill, like I said, I feel like he's coming off a knockout loss. Yuri's coming off a knockout loss. I just think that Yuri is more focused than Jamal. I think Yuri sees big picture. I think Jamal's just looking to Alex. I need to get back to Alex. I gotta get back to Alex. I need to right this wrong. Where Yuri doesn't care. Yuri's here. He's been training with Alex Volkanovski. He's been trying different things. I'm gonna go with the underdog here. I'm gonna go with the guy I think that is more locked in, more focused. I'm gonna take Prochazka.
Mm. I hear what you're saying, but I'm just gonna throw some things at you, and I just want to get your
Yeah, go
reaction.
ahead.
So Yuri, the one thing that Yuri doesn't do well, let me back up for a second. In fighting, the whole point of fighting is to do what? Hit and not get hit.
Yes.
I just think the whole basis around his game is to just say, I'm gonna be able to take more damage than you are, and I'm gonna be able to finish through that.
Yeah.
And while I applaud that, and I think it gives us exciting fights, I think that that's why we as fans love him. The mystical, magical samurai shit. The I'm gonna go in a dark room for 30 days and take ayahuasca and then
Yeah.
talk to fucking
Yeah.
aliens on Mars. I think we all kind of fall. I think that's romantic for the MMA fighter. But if you look at the stats, man, he just doesn't get his defense is not good. He has no defense. He
Yes.
just takes punches. He does not check leg kicks, which is why I never think he's going to be able to beat Alex Pereira. He just doesn't. He refuses to check
Yeah.
a leg kick. And I just think that the way I see this fight panning out is, I think Jamal's going to be patient in the sense that he's going to try to figure out what Yuri's going to do. I think Yuri's going to come in hot. First round, he's going to be throwing awkward elbows, awkward knees, flying knees. We're going to see the hair flying all around like a samurai. We're going to be all kind of romanticized again by how it looks because it looks cool. But I think Jamal's just going to be patient. He's just going to walk him down. And I get it with Jamal. He has the questions with the leg
Yep.
turnover. He doesn't turn his leg over with the kicks. He's awkward with his feet movement. His footwork is awkward.
And being a
But he's just a
bitch.
scrapper. He's just a scrapper. So I think it's gonna be a TKO, man. I really see TKO second round. I really do. I think everyone's underestimating Jamal. And I get it. I get the social media antics, but I think he's just trying to die on his sword. I think he's trying to defend himself. And maybe it's not justified. I do think that the throwing the gloves at Alex is kind of crazy because we all know you're not going to fight him. You just
No,
want to
no, no,
fight
no,
for
no.
money.
Alex threw the gloves at him.
That's what I'm saying, though. That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
yeah, yeah.
But I don't think Alex would have fought him either
Yeah.
because I don't think Alex is dumb enough to fight without having money on the line. He's the champ. Why would he do that? But
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
I just see a TKO, either TKO, and it's hard for me to see Yuri climbing back that
I
mountain.
see. I'm
I,
telling you, I
I
think you see a different version of Yuri for this fight. He keeps saying it in the lead up to this fight. He said, "I've made changes in my camp and in my life, and I feel that I can be like I'm back to championship level." He says, and I'm with him. I'm with him.
Nick, he said that fucking last time,
No,
bro.
he didn't. No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
No, he
Every
didn't.
time he fought Alex Pereira, every time he has a fight,
No.
we're talking about that he found himself in some dark room and
No,
he
no, no,
now
no, no.
knows what
This is
he
not
has to do.
spiritual. I'm talking about this is strategic. A camp switch. He's never done a camp switch. He did a
Okay.
camp switch.
All right. I'm going to say TKO head kick
Yeah, no,
because he
he
still can't fucking
can't even
check.
get his Jamal can't even get his leg that high.
He hit Glover with it,
Yeah,
but
45-year-old man.
I I just don't until I can see a check leg kick or some sort of defense where you're not just trying to ram through people and trying to just basically take more damage than the other person until you clip someone. It's hard for me to see him winning. But I do love his style. I think he's a great fighter. I think he seems like a great dude, you know what I mean? But I just don't see it.
Jamal getting knocked the fuck out.
We'll see. It is close though. All right, so moving on here.
Not even gonna waste my breath. Not even gonna waste my breath.
We got Merab Dvalishvili, Umar
Show those
Nurmagomedov.
odds. Show those odds, man. Show
Ah,
those odds.
let's see the odds.
Yeah.
Very ooh, surprised by those.
Yeah.
Wow.
People know. People know what's gonna happen. That's why.
Yeah. So I think with this one it's going to be tough. I think Marab, they're both great wrestlers. They just have different styles of wrestling. excuse me, in the sense that Marab is more he's more pressure based. He just comes at you. He just tries to out
Yeah.
cardio you, more pressure, tries to take you down, hold you down. I think Umar, he seems to be a little bit more flexible with his wrestling, where he kind of tries to mix it up. He is a better striker,
Yep.
but I will say they both aren't volume strikers in the sense that they're both not throwing a lot of kicks, punches. They're not throwing a lot. They're just kind of trying to gauge their distance. So I really think that the wrestling is going to cancel each other out here.
Click on the
Uh,
strikes.
you see,
Yeah.
4.3
Yeah, it's
landed
about
per
even.
minute.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but look at if we look at the significant strikes landed, it takes Marab the same amount of strikes to land less, basically.
Yeah.
So basically, what this is saying is Umar is way more efficient at his strikes, even though they're both throwing very low amount
Yeah.
of strikes. Their defense is about the same. They're both high quality wrestlers. They're just different. One's more of a pressure. I'm just going to get at you in your face. And I think Umar is a little bit more patient, where he's just going to try to get you up against that fence and, like smash, like how
Yeah.
Khabib does. But I'm going to have to go with Umar on this one. I don't think it's going to be a finish.
I hope
I
it is.
think,
I hope it is. I
I
really
really
hope.
don't think it's going to be a finish. I really don't. I think Marab is going to come out really hot, trying to prove that he could just take this guy down, dominate him. But I think this fight is going to go exactly like the Corey Sandhagen fight, where Umar is just going to get stronger and stronger as the rounds go on.
Yeah.
And he's just going to be able to figure him out, figure that distance out. He's going to the leg kicks are going to be there. And I think he's going to be able to time it, where
Yeah.
he's going to change levels on him and finally take him down and keep him down. And whatever ground and pound he does there, he does there. I think it's going to be a good fight, but I think it's going to go to the distance. I'm going to say unanimous, Umar.
That's where I'm at. That's all I'm gonna say. Marab's an even bigger bitch than Jamal. So I hate Merab Dvalishvili. I like I said, I think Umar's better everywhere. I think striking he's better. I think grappling he's better. I think he has a better corner. I think, like I said, this guy wrestles with Islam and Habib every day, and so it's just like I think he's gonna be well prepared. I think he'll be a okay. So
Yeah, I mean, even if we look like it's even if we look at the averages here for the grappling, it's the same thing that I'm saying. Like Umar's taking down people 6 times per 15 minutes. I'm sorry, Marab.
yeah,
Umar's doing it about 4 times.
he's never been
But
taken down. But he's never been taken down before.
yeah, yeah. But his takedown accuracy, Umar's is way higher. He's just a more efficient version of Marab.
Yeah,
Whereas Marab he's the machine. He has such cardio. He's
yeah,
just gonna continue to keep going.
yeah,
And I think that that's not the right style for someone with the last name Nurmagomedov. They're just going to stick
yes,
to the game plan, and he's just going to march him down, and
yeah,
he's just going to control him the entire fight.
yeah.
So you're saying finish, or you think it's just 5 rounds?
No, I think Umar by unanimous decision is the safest play. I'd love to see a finish though. That would
Mm.
literally make me like I can't even describe to you the level of happiness I would feel. But I'll take what I can get.
Do you think if it's a close fight, they get a rematch, or you think they're just going to get O'Malley in there immediately?
I think Sean's next. If that's what Sean wants, Sean will get it. It's up to Sean, to be honest. Like I said, he's the cash cow, so it's like a Connor situation where if that's what he wants, UFC will give it to him. If he wants a tune up, the UFC will go that route. It's all gonna be up to him when he's ready. When he's ready, he's gonna be the big factor, like because they're not gonna hold up the division either. So
Yeah, yeah. I just think the just that last name Nurmagomedov holds such weight.
yeah, 100%.
I think Dana's gonna want that name at the top of some division,
Yeah,
and it's gonna be hard unless it's like unless Marab gets robbed and it's clear that he won the fight, and it's like a ridiculous stoppage or just something crazy. I don't see Marab getting immediate rematch, and that sucks because I feel like Marab he did go on a 12 fight winning streak just to get to the title, and then for it to just be taken away from him and not get a rematch, it's kind of crazy, but it all lends to the timing, his name. He's not benefiting from quote unquote nepotism with the Nurmagomedov last name, and we'll see how it goes. But like I said, I think it's going to be 5 rounds.
Yeah.
Umar's our new champion. So
Yep.
moving on. Crazy that this is an entire card, right, with all these fights.
What?
But it's crazy that this is all these fights on this card. It's like each one of them can be a title fight.
Oh
And
yeah.
then
Oh,
like
a hundred
we
percent.
have so many title fights on here. It's
100%.
crazy. So last fight we got Arman Tsarukian, Islam Makhachev. Fight of the night, main event of the night. What are you thinking?
Islam's the greatest fighter in the company right now that's alive. So until he proves me otherwise, I mean, the guy, he's just. I mean, Arman's gonna be. It's gonna be competitive. Arman was competitive the first time, but everyone always likes to argue like the whole like the way they're selling the fight is well, Arman fought him as a rookie. It was his UFC debut. He fought him on 3 weeks' notice 5 years ago, and he almost got him. Like, imagine what he's gonna do now, and it's like, well, that are you saying that Islam's the same fighter that he was 5 years ago too? So it's just like Islam has got it gets better every time I watch him fight. Every time I watch him fight, he was a grappler. Now he strikes. You know what I'm saying? Like he fucked up Dustin Poirier. He knocked out Alex Volkanovski. So it's just like he's gotten good everywhere. I think he's gotten a personality. I think he's more fun than Habib was. I think that's why he's starting to warm up on me. He's actually kind
Mhm.
of funny
Yeah.
when you listen to him. He has an actual personality. I just think he's a good champ. I think he's just dominant everywhere. I think his hands get better every time I watch him fight. Arman's been chinny. He got caught. He's been caught plenty. Um, Charles almost subbed him. That guy, he fought some wannabe a couple fights ago. That Silva dude knocked him.
Yeah.
That Silva dude knocked him down in the first round. So it's like I said, stuff like that. He was very impressive against Dariush. Um, but like I said, like it's gonna be tough. Like you're losing to a guy like Matuas Gamrot. You know what I'm saying? That's wrestling heavy based. Gamrot's wrestling ain't nothing compared to that Dagestani wrestling. So I just think Islam. I think Islam gets it done. Um, I think it might go 5 rounds. I could see it going 5 rounds, but I think once it hits those later rounds, those jacked guys, it's tough to feed those muscles for 5 rounds. So like if he's better hopes he has the gas. If not, it's going to be a late finish later on in the fight.
Yeah, I actually went back and watched that first fight. You could tell that. I mean, Armin was super young.
Yes,
He was didn't have the muscle mass that he has now. It's crazy that he's fucking fighting at 155. He looks insane. Um, and I think the counter of whatever people are saying that like he was his first fight. He was fighting Islam on such short notice. So was Islam. Islam probably knew
exactly,
nothing about him.
exactly.
Didn't know who this kid was. Didn't prepare for him at all. Looking back at the fight, it was close, but it felt like Islam was just trying to figure him out and was not he wasn't playing with him, but I don't think he was doing things that he wouldn't normally do.
Normally do.
Yeah. So and I think he was just trying to figure him out. So I think this fight it's going to be an interesting one. I think they're pretty evenly matched on wrestling,
Yep.
but I think if you're rating out of 100, Islam being a 99 rated, I
Yeah.
think Armin is right below him. He's
Yep.
like a 95 type of wrestler with the grappling.
Yep.
Um, the one thing that worries me about this is the kicks. Um, Armin, he will be able to kind of keep that distance with the kicks,
Yep.
with the jab. He will be able to kind of see if he can stifle that level change that
Yep.
Islam is so good at. He's able to present like a high low for his fight for the people he's fighting against Islam, and that always creates problems. So I think as long as Sarukian can keep distance, that may cause some problems for Islam. And Sarukian is also talking about this secret move that he's going to do that's going to work, which I don't know what he can. I don't know what he can do. I don't know why fighters do that. Usually, when they do that, they end up doing nothing.
No, it's true.
They usually say that, and they end up doing nothing different. So I think he's just trying to play mind games there. But I think that Islam is coming into his own where he's starting to be more of a striker. He's starting to feel comfortable in that void between strikes, and I think he's just going to outstrike him. I really think so. I think it's going to be a TKO. I just see it. I'm gonna say TKO third round, Islam.
Okay, I like it.
Yeah,
I could dig it.
it's gonna be a good fight though. It's gonna be usually when I tell people or when people ask me, oh, what card should I fight? What card should I watch? What card should I buy?
This is a card to watch, man.
Yeah, if the number one pound for pound fighter is fighting in the main
You
event,
want to
usually
watch it, yeah,
you have to. It's usually your money's worth,
yeah,
and he's just so dominant, and that division is in such a weird place where, like you said before, Gamrot can beat Tsarukian, but no
yeah,
one else can beat Tsarukian.
yeah,
Or like Gaethje can beat this person, but no one else can beat Gaethje.
yeah,
They're just in such a weird position, but they all have in common one thing: they just cannot beat Islam.
yeah, yep,
So I think it's just going to be a tough matchup. I think it's going to be, like I said, third round TKO. It's going to be a good fight, though.
yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys. That's wrapping it up for our 311 here takes. What we think is going to happen. We'll check in with you guys back on Monday with what actually happened with the card. One thing we want to say though is, especially with the California fighters, the California fires that are going on. It's crazy that this event is still going on. Hopefully everyone's safe out there. It's kind of crazy. Everything is crazy. We're seeing all the footage. It looks like a war zone out
For
there.
real,
It looks like we're in fucking Iraq.
for real.
So it's insane that the UFC is still able to like maintain this event.
Put this
Yeah, so
together.
let's just stay
Yeah,
safe out there, and hopefully you guys kind of pick up from where you guys are right now, because I know it's tough, and hopefully you guys watching this fight can lift you up for a little bit for the night, even if it's just for 3 hours there.
yeah.
All right, guys. See you around. Thank you.